All right,
eight-time
thank
Mr. Olympia, owner of Ronnie Coleman Signature Series. He is now also the best-selling author of Yeah, Buddy, My Incredible Story. Ronnie Coleman, how are you, Ronnie?
Oh, doing pretty good.
Yeah. The book is being received very well. Every time I walked by your booth at the Olympia Expo, there was a good line of people waiting for their autographed copies. So, wow, congratulations, Ronnie. That's
Oh,
not
thank
easy.
you.
Um,
That took a lot
uh,
of work.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you did it yourself, so props to you because so many celebrities just use ghostwriters. They take the easy way out, but yeah, you did it yourself. Late night.
Yeah,
So,
I started out like that, and then I started reading all what was being said, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. So I changed everything up.
right
Did it
on.
myself.
So, did you watch the show, the Olympia, Ronnie?
No, not at all.
Oh
I
boy.
was too exhausted after being over there that book signing for like 8 hours, 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I was
Uh,
just trying to rest up.
I bet. So, it was, well, Brandon Curry won.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
So it was Brandon Curry, William Bonac, and Hadi Choopan, then Dexter Jackson, and Roelly Winklaar were the top five. Did you see any pictures or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, I saw the photos.
Okay. Well, first of all, it was kind of a conspicuous Olympia for who was missing. It was the first time we didn't have
Yeah.
the defending champion back since Dorian retired in 1998, 97. So it was 21 years since we had a similar situation.
Yeah.
Were you excited to see what would happen as far as who would win the Olympia, or did you kind of have an idea Brandon was going to win?
Well, I kind of had an idea Brandon was going to win because every time somebody asked me, that
Yeah,
was always the first thing out of my mouth. I don't know if we did picks or not. I think I was saying the same thing.
yeah,
Uh, but I had a real good feeling of the outcome.
yeah. They're just based on Brandon's strengths, his physique. You thought it was
Yeah.
going. So what about his overall package? You think got him the Mr. Olympia title?
Well, I mean, his overall package looked good, but only weakness I saw just could have been a little bit more conditioned. But
Yeah,
besides that, he had everything else going for him.
yeah. Because I mean, people knocked his saying the condition wasn't. It could have been a little better. Sure, you could say the same thing about a couple other guys in the lineup.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah, exactly.
they a lot of people will knock Brandon's legs, saying his legs don't quite match his upper body too. Do you see that?
You know what? I never really studied Brandon that closely, but I'm quite sure if I did, I could always find something.
There's never been a 100%
Oh,
perfect physique
I would,
ever.
I wouldn't 100%, never 100% happy with myself.
I mean, if yeah, let's talk. If you could have changed a couple things about your physique, what would you have changed?
Just right off, I probably would brought my legs up a little bit more. I always wanted my legs to be bigger than my
Really?
arms.
Your
Yeah,
leg?
yeah, because my arms just grew really so easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point where I just had to quit. I just quit training on for a while there,
Wow.
and just concentrated mostly on my legs. I got them to come up, but uh, I always thought they could be just a little bit bigger.
Your legs were enormous, Ronnie. I don't know what you were seeing in the mirror. I mean, you had awesome arms, but your quads were right there. I mean, if I could pick, I'd say maybe your calves could have been bigger, but you could say that about 95% of bodybuilders.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
I agree with you. I totally agree with you on
yeah.
that.
So the legs, which I disagree with, I think your legs were just fine. Anything else? Anything else you would have improved on if you could magically have
No,
done it?
no, I
No.
don't think there's anything else I could
Okay.
could have
Did
done.
did you get a look at this guy from Iran, Hadi Choopan?
You know what? I didn't really study anybody that closely. So
Yeah.
like I said, I wasn't there. If I had been there, then I would have been able to do that. But it's kind of hard to do from photos and stuff because relaxation and what you're hitting at the time that they are, snapping the picture.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say. Only thing on him, his arms just seem to be that big. It seemed like he could have brought those up a little bit more.
Well,
but I saw most muscle of him, and that's the bland weakness that stood out.
well, I mean, I don't think it's his arms are weak, but his quads are so crazy. I mean, if you look at the rest of the top, if you look at the top five guys in the top five guys, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Dexter, and Roelly, the other guys in the top five, his quads were far and away way better than any of those guys. They were just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah,
So
yeah. I agree
clearly,
with you on that.
I'm sure he works very hard on them, but clearly they also grow when he trains them. So
Yeah, kind of like my arm, dude.
yeah. So I mean, I can imagine how big his arms would have to be to really 100% match those quads. You know, it wouldn't be easy. He'd need like another couple inches on those arms, I'm sure.
Yeah, he could do it. He's young. He got plenty of time.
Speaking of someone who's not young, Dexter Jackson. Dex, I mean, he's actually a few weeks younger than me, so I can't call him old, but he's going to be 50 in November. When you started competing against him 20 years ago, did you ever imagine this guy would still be competing in 2019?
No, but you never know the sport because they've had guys do that before. Look at Albert Beckers. I remember I saw him backstage one year, and he had just won the Niagara Falls, and I'm like, man, how old are you? He's like, I'm 61. And I'm like, 61? You just won a pro bodybuilding show. That's crazy. Of course, I
Wow.
didn't think too much of it at the time because I was so focused on myself. But I was like, man, that's got to be some kind of record, And then they was hyping him up about beating guys, half his age and all this kind of stuff. And I thought that was pretty impressive. And I knew, that it's possible for somebody to compete, in their older years. It's just a matter of determination
Right.
and how focused you are. If you want to do it that long, you can. If you don't, then for the most part, a lot of guys, uh, if they mind don't get them, then their body will.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
neither one of the two will always catch up with you. Look
you
at
were
Big Andy; he retired at 31. I'm quite sure he could have gone whole lot longer if he wanted to.
you were 42 or 43 when you did your last Olympia.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, if your body had held up, if you hadn't had, the
Surgery.
nerve damage and the back problems, how much longer do you think possibly you could have kept going?
Till I just got tired of competing, which would have been like another 3, 4 years down the
Yeah,
line,
yeah. I
down the
mean,
road. Then
if
again,
you,
of course, in your mind, you kind of like, since you enjoy what you're doing, you want to go as long as possible. You know, sometimes it's never enough.
I mean,
But you
I
want to
think
be competitive also, So you
right,
don't just want to do it just be doing it. You want to be doing. You want to do it to be meaningful and competitive.
right.
So Dexter's still very competitive. So I think he can go as long as he want to.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at him now, do you think he's still very close to the best he ever was, or do you see him starting to slide down just a little bit physically?
Well, I mean, it can go. It kind of goes hand in hand. He's good at some things now that he wasn't in the past. So uh, how do you want to measure that out? I think a lot of people are saying his legs came up a lot,
Yeah,
whereas before, it didn't have as great a leg, but it did kind of like match the body that he had, so that made it just good. So
yeah,
when something comes up, but you're not being as competitive as you were in the past, it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference if you're
yeah.
not, he didn't win the show because his leg came up, so it really didn't help him out none.
Well, I mean, it kept him in the top four, and he's always
Yeah,
said,
well, top four ain't winning though.
no,
Everybody compete.
right,
Everybody, trust me, everybody competes to win, especially when you Dexter and you want to Miss Olympia. You're always thinking in the back of your mind, I can win this thing again if I can get to the stage, with the package that I have.
I mean,
So fourth place is good, but from what he was posting online, it seemed like he was happy and content with that because everybody was dogged him out saying he wasn't gonna be relevant and all this kind of stuff. But fourth place ain't winning, but only thing about it is if he's happy and content with being fourth place, but I don't know what guy in his right mind would that's a fierce competitor. If he's a fierce competitor, then you want first.
Yeah.
But if you happy and content with just placing fourth, then you just sorry ass fourth place finisher, as far as I'm concerned, because
Oh boy,
I
man.
always want to place first. Forget fourth, who wants to be fourth? You the fourth loser.
Mm,
that's
yeah, I
that's
mean,
a long way down the line for first place.
yeah. I mean, is that where you placed the last time you came back when your injuries were really affecting you? Was it
Yeah,
third or fourth?
and I fourth, and I didn't come back no more.
Yeah, I mean that was.
I thought about it a couple times, but
Mm,
after placing fourth and like, man, I don't know,
no,
I don't want to chance this and not win.
because
And that's where I was, and I never just got back to a place where I was comfortable enough to think I could win it.
right,
So I don't want to place fourth or fifth or sixth or second or third. I want to win. Forget
right.
fourth. You got to remember I had the record for winning most wins. So you got to know I love winning.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I don't get no justification whatsoever in fourth. The hell
yeah.
with fourth place. That was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
hopefully Dexter wasn't happy with fourth place. He just wanted to shout out at some people
Ah,
that said he wasn't going to place at all.
right, right, right. 'Cause I think when Jay did his last Olympia a few years ago, I think he was sixth place.
He was sixth place, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's
I'm quite sure that killed any chance of him ever trying to compete again because he was first for so long too.
right. Well, if you hadn't been at the Olympia, he would have won a lot more Olympias. Put it that way. But
Yeah, exactly. And if
Kevin
he
would have
hadn't
won.
been there, yeah, if he hadn't been there, I would have won number 9 maybe.
Kevin would have a couple Olympias. Flex Wheeler would have a
Like
couple
we
Olympias.
was definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean,
No,
Chris.
I don't know if you saw Roelly, but it turns out Roelly Winklaar had a hamstring injury a couple weeks out from the show, and that really screwed him up. Because man, he was my favorite going in. It was either going to be him or Brandon, as far as I was concerned, because you saw Roelly last year when he took third place behind Sean Roden and Phil Heath, and he was deadly. If he had showed up like
Yeah,
that, no disrespect to Brandon, but I think that Roelly Winkler would have walked away with this Olympia fairly easily.
he was people's champion, so that goes a long way to show you what kind of a threat he was. All the
Yeah.
people thought he should have won, so
Well,
that pretty much says it all right there.
you saw who won the People's Champion this year?
Yeah, yeah, Hadi.
Hadi. So I mean, that's looking at pictures of him. Do you think he's capable of winning the Olympia in the next year or two?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he most definitely could win. Now all they got to do is just put it all together. Just improve on his weaknesses, and he's right there.
Yeah, because they'll
And
say, well, he's
of course, he will
yeah,
do that because he's so young.
right. I mean, they some people will say he's too short, but he's about the same height as William Bonac, who was second, and I think Brandon's about 5'8" on a good day. So
Yeah, well, they've had short Miss Olympias in the past. That ain't no excuse.
right, I mean, Franco was about 5'4", I believe.
Yeah,
He,
exactly.
he
So
won a
yeah,
couple of them.
that sure ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah. The one guy I was hoping to see do really well was Cedric McMillan because I'm a fan. I love his physique, but I had a feeling he wasn't going to be in the best condition because he got the special invite because he was busy with his U.S. Army duties and couldn't do a show to qualify for the Olympia. So that made me kind of concerned. If he couldn't get ready for a show to qualify, how's he going to have enough time to win the Mr. Olympia? And sure enough, he wasn't. He
Yeah.
wasn't in. He wasn't in any kind of condition, which I'm bummed. Are you a Cedric fan?
Oh yeah, yeah, big time. I totally agree with you too on everything you just said. I thought Cedric was right there. When he won that Arnold Classic, what, a couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
If he just could have just kept that motivation going, maybe he could have won it. But I think Cedric has, like I said, these other duties and stuff, and then he has a problem with these prep coaches also.
no.
He hadn't been able to find the right one.
Yeah. You were.
It's kind of hard to put it all together.
You only
It's
had
always
one prep.
something.
You only had one prep coach ever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Chad,
I tried
Chad.
some other guys coming up, but I got rid of them real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, once you find one that knows how to work with your body and give you the right result,
Yeah,
don't leave them.
exactly.
Yeah. Quick question, Ryan. So you have 8 Olympia titles. Lee Haney has 8 Olympia titles. Phil Heath has 7. I was hoping, really hoping he was going to come back this year and go for 8. Um, Hopefully he comes back next year. What do you think the chances are that he could win 9? Because I don't know if anyone's going to beat your record and Lee Haney's record in my lifetime or ever. Do you think it's possible?
I think chances are slim and none.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's too
slim and
much.
none.
Why do you
Too
feel that
much.
way?
Well, right now it's too much competition, and everybody's pretty much on the same level with where they're judging now.
Yeah,
If you look at the Olympia, it probably could have gone 3 ways. Either one of those guys in the top three
yeah,
probably could have won, but I think
yeah,
politically they chose Brandon Curry, his best representative,
yeah. I
uh,
mean, if you
for the
were a
most part.
judge, if you were a judge, who would you have picked out of those 3 guys?
I probably would have picked Brandon Curry.
Okay, yeah. What would your reasons be?
I like Brandon. I think he's a great guy. He's an
Oh,
excellent representative for the sport. Yeah,
okay.
you got to have everything together when you represent the sport. You just can't have the best body. You got to have everything. You got to have the best mind. You got to have the best background. You got to be the
Mm,
best representative. You got to be the best ambassador. I mean,
mm.
just so many roles you take on when you represent something for the whole world.
So that really puts Hadi Choopan at a massive disadvantage because he doesn't speak one word of English, and I was around him. He's got hearing aids. I think he's almost completely deaf. So
Really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I didn't know that until recently
Well,
either.
there's so many things you can overcome too. He can learn how to speak English. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Lou Ferrigno was kind of like you know completely deaf. Also, look what he accomplished and overcame. So you can overcome anything.
well, apparently he can read lips. He's learned how to read lips, so he just needs to learn
Exactly.
English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, he
Which
speaks fine. He
can
doesn't
be.
speak like someone who was deaf from birth. I think you know how Lou Ferrigno sounds like that, and a lot of
Yeah,
people who
yeah.
are. I don't. Can you even say deaf anymore? Is that a bad word? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he speaks perfectly fine. He doesn't have that way of speaking that people who have been deaf from birth do. So, yeah, if he learns English, I'm sure he'd be able to speak it, no
Yeah,
problem. But
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with you.
yeah. But that's interesting that you say that Mr. Olympia isn't just a physique contest; it's a package. You want this person to be the ambassador to bodybuilding to the rest of the world for that
Exactly.
at
You're
least that one,
representing for the world pretty much.
because
So you just
you
can't
know,
be uh, you just can't be good in just that one area. You got to be good in all of them.
and it's not just while you're Mr. Olympia; it's forever because
Exactly.
you're probably more of an ambassador now than you were when you were winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with Jay Cutler. You know, you're able to travel the world now. You
Yep.
got your supplement brand. You're got a book. I mean, you got your social media. You're reaching so many more people now than you were from
Back then,
1998 to
because back when I
2005.
was Mr. Olympia, I was so busy getting ready for the Mr. Olympia, I didn't have time to do anything else.
Right, right, right. And now, geez, you've probably met more fans over the past, I don't know, geez, it's been 14 years since you retired, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
on these tours you do for Ronnie Coleman Signature Series, man, you go all over the world, literally all over the
All
world.
over the world.
I see you in China, I see you in the Middle East, I see you in
Everywhere.
Japan, Europe, South America. You're everywhere with that. How,
Yep.
how many how many countries is your brand in now?
Uh-huh.
How many countries is your brand in?
130.
Wow, wow. I don't even know if the IFBB before it split was in 130 countries. How many countries are there? I don't even know. There can't be many more than that.
uh, I mean, it's quite a few.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, you're
quite a
probably in
few.
you're probably in like 90% of the countries of the world, it sounds like. Huh.
Yeah. At least 90%. Yeah, you're right about that.
Okay.
But
So
I've been around for a while. I held the title for a while, so I
that's
got a
true.
lot of recognition all over the world.
Absolutely. I mean, I can.
I'm
There's
more
not many.
famous all over the world than I am here.
I'll tell you, when I talk to people who know nothing about bodybuilding, they all know Arnold, obviously. They know
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno because of the movies and TV. But if I throw names at them like Jay Cutler, Kevin Leveroni, it just they have no idea who I'm talking about. But if I say Ronnie Coleman, they go, "Oh, Ronnie Coleman. Oh, yeah, I know who he is." And these people, they know nothing. They could care less about bodybuilding, but they know who you are. So
Yeah,
that
that's because
tells
I've
you,
been around. And I've been around in a positive way, and I've done so much too.
yeah. So, so I'm already looking forward to next year's Mr. Olympia because I want to see Phil Heath back. I want to see Sean Roden back, Big Ramy, maybe even, and I know it's a slim chance, Kai Green. That'd be awesome if we could get all those guys back next year. That'd be a
Yeah,
Mr.
that would be like for an excellent show, but like I said, that's slim chance.
Eh, I gotta hold out that little bit of hope though, Ronnie, because I'm a fan, and
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
you know,
exactly.
I want to see the very best guys up there every year. Cool.
Yep, yep,
Uh,
yeah.
all right. Well, I will let you go, Ronnie. I appreciate you taking the time. I want to remind everyone. I haven't had a chance to read it because I had a library book that I had to finish before I had to bring it back to the library. But this, I can't wait to read this. Yeah, buddy, my incredible story. Amazon.com, is that where most people can get it, Ronnie?
Yeah, I think that's the only place you can get it right now. But
Okay.
we haven't got a website up yet, so we're working
Even
on that.
before the book starts, you got forwards by Brian Dobson, Jay Cutler, Lee Haney, Flex Wheeler, and Branch Warren. That's before Ronnie starts writing a thing in the book. So,
Yeah.
and then it goes from birth to right now, basically. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly. All the way
I
up to
can't
now.
I can't wait to read this. So great job. Uh, that's all, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, Ronnie. Appreciate it so much.
All right, Ron, no problem, bro. Anytime.
All right, for the Ronline Report, this has been Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia, the GOAT.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, buddy.